Kathleen Kennedy has hijacked The Mandalorian. It is no longer Jon Favreau's show. It's her show. And she is making it perfectly clear that The Mandalorian is no longer an epic story about a bounty hunter wandering the galaxy, ultimately leading to him becoming the ruler of Mandalore. No. Now, The Mandalorian is about Bo-Katan, who was literally passed the torch. And now she is the ruler of Mandalore and is the Mandalorian in The Mandalorian. No longer is it Din Djarin. As you can see here, one of the directors and executive producers of The Mandalorian, not Jon Favreau, has confirmed this. These are his words. Who is the Mandalorian at this point? And so I think it could be anyone. And I think that's what they're trying to define in many ways, is what does it mean to be Mandalorian? And again, Jon Favreau didn't say this. So where is he rebuting this? Well, he has been pushed aside by Kathleen Kennedy because you see, Kathleen Kennedy is still the president of Lucasfilm and is Jon Favreau's boss. What she says goes. And if she wants Bo-Katan to be the new face of The Mandalorian, well, guess what? Bo-Katan is the new face of The Mandalorian and not that badass, masculine, aggressive bounty hunter Din Djarin. No, it's Bo-Katan's turn now, and she is gonna make The Mandalorian more appealing to a broader audience. Because according to Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars needs to be a little bit more progressive and changes need to be made.
Because I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have like this sort of woman-centered figure.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Jon Favreau's vision of a Star Wars Western with brand new characters that is fresh and new but still feels like Star Wars is all but dead. And there is nothing he can do about it because Kathleen Kennedy is still the boss. She is still the president of Lucasfilm. But in Season 3, Episode 7 of The Mandalorian, Jon Favreau secretly said his goodbye and gave us, the true Star Wars fans, a message that unfortunately his vision and story of The Mandalorian had been destroyed by Kathleen Kennedy's vision of what Star Wars should be. And that message was relayed to us by the character he plays in The Mandalorian, Paz Vizsla. You see, in episode 7 of season 3 of The Mandalorian, Paz Vizsla met his demise. He was beaten and struck down. And by who? None other. By the evil Imperial Guards from the sequel trilogy. Kathleen Kennedy's sequel trilogy. Yes, I believe this was Jon Favreau's clever way to secretly relay a message to us, the real Star Wars fans, that ultimately his vision of Star Wars was destroyed by Kathleen Kennedy's vision of Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy has no interest in upholding the tradition and vision of George Lucas Star Wars. No, she wants to push Kathleen Kennedy's vision of Star Wars. A Star Wars which doesn't have any room for badass, aggressive, violent, alpha, space bounty hunters that travel the galaxy and take the initiative to do what is needed to be done, that don't chase after leadership, that don't hunger power, that are good men and naturally inspire others. In season 2 of The Mandalorian, we were reintroduced to Boba Fett. And when we got back when Jon Favreau still had full control of The Mandalorian, was a Boba Fett that was aggressive, that was masculine, that was badass. He was doing what we all knew Boba Fett was capable of doing, being a badass bounty hunter that didn't take any names, that didn't waste any time. He, like Mando, Din Djarin, did what needed to be done. And that was the Boba Fett we were supposed to get in the book of Boba Fett. But then Kathleen Kennedy pushed Jon Favreau out of the way, and this is what we got. Look at this idiot, this bum. Why is he bowing?
Why does it have to be the right arm?
You should take a nice soak in the bacta tank.
Please do, Boba Fett. Maybe then your balls will grow back. Because Kathleen Kennedy has taken them. Like she's taken Star Wars from us, the real Star Wars fans. Like she's taken The Mandalorian from Jon Favreau. Now I ask you, the real Star Wars fans, how do you feel about this? Be sure to let me know down in the comments. And like always, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it.
Sensational.
Come on.